Mom has been paralyzed for 16 years. She just lost my husband. She was away from work and forced me to divorce. I actually have my own family outside. My son is here to pick me up. I looked in the direction of his finger. Next to the beautiful woman was a 10-year-old boy. I can't describe the pain. I never believed that people could be killed. But I did that. Open your eyes again. I went back 16 years. The day that woman came home. My mother-in-law suddenly handed me a small piece of paper. I found out you seem to have pity on me. Maybe she was also reborn. New Year's Eve, the whole family gathered for dinner. Suddenly a stench made everyone put the 8 chopsticks down. My mother-in-law is out again. My dream is to replace my mother. Unfortunately, they were wrong. I covered my nose and walked out. My husband saw me in a hurry and asked if I was still eating. You don't eat AI, you eat rice in the toilet. What did you say in your dream? Are you a human being? That's my mother. So you better go instead. After saying that, I turned around and left their house. I don't know where I want to go. I just know I don't want to see them anymore. Yes, I have been reborn. Back in the first year I married them 6. Everything is still in time. Until now, remember the truth I heard before the sting. I'm still shivering 7. My whole family has calculated my 16 years so SAO. I've had 16 years in my life. Dream, you know, I have a family outside. I don't like you at all. Only because you can take care of my mother. See? That's my son and my wife. They're my family. And you're nothing.
Yeah.
My whole family knows they exist, including my mother. I can't describe the pain. I never believed that people could get stung. But I did that. I'm an orphan. College days were mesmerized by Luke's 6 how playing basketball. He used to chase him, but he refused. I'm a little fat. I understand not contacting him anymore. And then he showed up next to me. Never stopped chasing me. He said he regrets it. He likes me. I can't resist his pursuit. I agree to the marriage proposal. Wedding day. I just found out that his mother was paralyzed in a car accident under the guise of 6 horror. I have no doubt. Change the wedding dress without hesitation, change the diaper for his mother. Been busy for 16 years. Until his mother died. I was kicked out of the house by him. I know everything. I chose you because you are an orphan. Even not. What family would let their daughter serve my mother like that? You may be stupid. I thought I trusted you. Sometimes my mom sees you want to laugh. Laughing, you're a fool. Me and I have never been apart. My mouth has promised me countless times. Being cruel to me is better than anyone. I stand by the river. The cold winter wind blows across the face. Try to keep yourself awake. I hate myself more than anyone. I can't bring a knife to their house right now. My mind tells me I can't. A familiar scold echoed behind my back. That's the day you left the whole family. I said, please don't make me angry. I'm really angry and I won't need you anymore. My dream is to give you a chance. You're not coming with me today. Don't dream later. 6. They forced me to make the same choice as in my previous life. Finished talking about leaving. He thought I was the same old me. Follow him. Please don't leave me. I'll be humble. Go home quietly. But I stood where I didn't move. Think of 6 as air. Soon enough, he ran back to the changed face. Pull me aside, start begging me. I know you've been taking care of my mother lately. I'm so grateful to you. Can we go home? Year after year I'll take you shopping around. And taking care of my mother can't be just me. I can hear you all. Your mouth says good words, but your eyes are cold. I smile and nod my head. I'm going home with 6. It's not wrong, but this time it's about letting their 6-pack split apart. I'll give it back 10 times the suffering I have avenged 10 times more. Not home yet. From a distance, heard the nagging in the house. I told you I didn't want to change my mom's diaper. Why did you arrest me? My hands can wipe the feces off the urine. I don't want it anymore. How can your sister-in-law? What is she? I'm not a daughter-in-law. I just finished talking and Six walked into the house. The father hurriedly motioned for his brother. I couldn't hear the whole family breathe a sigh of relief. I walked upstairs. My husband's flattering voice echoed behind her. My sister-in-law misses you. Oh, I know you love me. He told me at the door. They want to see me as a daughter. I'm afraid I'll steal my husband's love. I let my husband take care of my mother. I turned and left. Their voices still echoing from afar. Father-in-law scolded Six. How did you teach your wife? See if you can say something nice to him. Or you have to do it now. Give her a fight to see if she's brave next time. Or let it have a baby. Women who have children are easy to control. Can't be cut off. It looks like a sow. It's even more disgusting. I promised you. You can have a baby with her. I was so angry that I trembled. Not to blame life. Previous Six fake infertility certificate. I said I couldn't have a baby. I gave all my heart and youth to the Six. What they get is their relentless calculation. I rubbed my stomach and suddenly my mother-in-law screamed. The knock on the door, I didn't answer. Six walk in. I rushed into his arms crying to death and back to life. He patiently comforted me. Ask me why. I'm pregnant. I'm probably pregnant. How can? Seriously, take me to the doctor. No one predicts. Six, he looked at me and told me to leave the baby. Afraid of me. He also analyzed the family situation for me. Hold me in your mouth and say sorry. He doesn't want the baby born in this family. Until conditions get better, we'll have kids. I said I have to think. Her mother's cry downstairs continued. He came downstairs to clean up for his mother. Don't forget to tell me to think about it. I touched my stomach. Having a child like that, I'd rather give birth to the devil. You can't be born for Six. Help me investigate something. I just finished calling Six and went upstairs. Trying to calm me down, I stuck my nose and told him to get out. It's disgusting to say he smells like shit. Then offer to sleep separately. When you lower your face, it's hard to leave. I'm happy to laugh. In a previous life, he always said I smelled like urine chalk. Let him taste it this time. The feeling of contempt. Self-cleaning, self-service, depending on what I do. I didn't cook breakfast the next morning. You see the table is empty, your face is dark. I pretended not to see. Bowed head buttered noodles brought by the delivery service. My husband is angry with red eyes. Sister-in-law, you're only worried about yourself now. You call the food outside the house, the wind is blowing. Six, tell me why. Six, he was afraid to tell him to cook. I can safely continue to soup. I deliberately made it loud. My husband has nasty eyes. Staring at me. Start talking about as saddle as XXX. That's what RA is. How good is a girl like that? Six. It's a shame. Or you have to call her sister-in-law, right? Don't blame me for blaming the poor. My dream is to call you for a few hours. It's like giving you a nose. I said, tell me my brother, and they are. My husband is going to tell the truth. When they were carrying food, RA was startled. Hurry up and stop your husband. The doorbell is ringing now. The one they talk about as softly as water. Gentle and beautiful Willow as Yen. She walked in with a bunch of presents. My eyes are looking for me. It seems like I went public on social media about my pregnancy. She saw it. My sister-in-law brought me the soup. It says soup. But her wry smile told me. It can't be soup. It must be soup with poison. I picked it up to drink. My husband suddenly handed me a piece of paper. Open me downstairs. It turns out that the note was sent by the mother-in-law below. I looked at the woman in bed. The person I had the most contact with in my previous life. Then she even became my whole life. I take care of my heart. Use your mind to take care of her. My kindness to you also knows. It's her that I take care of. In this scam, you are also involved. You can enjoy my kindness with a thick face. Say it quickly if you have an ass. But she suddenly looked at me with a sad face, completely different from the grandmother of my previous life. Maybe she was also reborn. Say it quickly if you have anything. Take the big wooden box. She trembled, pointing to the overhead closet. The big wooden box I couldn't help but grab. Inside is a pair of gold rings. I turned around and asked her what she meant. I know you and how have been arguing recently. This whole round is for you. It's not easy coming home. We're all the ones who understand. When I was young. But I know you're the best. Your mother doesn't feel bad about saying these words. I didn't notice she put the box down. A contemptuous face looking at this house. My previous life was so hard that I almost died. I've never seen this pair. Now only angry for 2 days. You want to give it to me. There's an unspeakable sadness in my heart. 16 years I died. What is in their eyes? It's a fool's play. Stand up and leave, she won't. Dream of her no father no mother. My family is lucky to have you. Now go take a shower for me. I haven't showered in days. I'm not well. I don't have time. This little girl shouldn't have been stopped. Let you drink the soup. You are this ungrateful. They don't deserve to give birth to you. Who deserves it? Tell me. I don't want to be pretty either. I'm sure she is. Asked about my care for her for half a year. Does it make her? I'm not used to such a lack. In the eyes of 6, taking care of her is not important. Just a little more. Your value will no longer be in this house. By the time I got to her bottom, it almost rotted. Just in time for summer. And fill it up on the blanket. Was that I kept tears in my eyes, taking care of her little by little to help her recover. I don't care if she swears. I walked out of the room without hesitation. Dream, I tell you. You're no better. My son doesn't like you, you know. Get out of here. The abuse suddenly stopped. Maybe my husband died. Don't take 2. Wipe her face with urine. Now it's a dung mouth. The room became quiet. I stood by the balcony. Suddenly, a silent willow appeared behind me, speaking in a sour tone. Your sister-in-law is in good health. 6 touching you has 5 fingers counting. You can still be pregnant. You're hiding under my bed. Tell me he didn't touch me. Besides, you like my husband. What do you care about all this? 3 consecutive questions. Is it like silence? Even if 6 liars despise me. But what was he and I doing in bed? As Saddle can't. 6 liability is possible. He tried to hit me. I can't believe I'm directly controlling her. If she doesn't fight back, she starts insulting me. The child you were born with is useless. He won't like it when he's born. What's the use of liking? He and I are legally married. My children are the legitimate children of this family. You can be pretty, but I remind you. The child you will be born with will be called a baby. Dream, I told you. You're about to be kicked out of this house. Just pick it up and run away. I didn't even know she was looking for 6. I'm looking in the direction she left. A little hot. How would he deal with me? I love you, I miss you too. I'll come back to you year after year. Don't worry, I will marry you. Passing by the balcony outside. I can't wait to hear the big story. My husband has someone else. I'm a little familiar with the voice on the phone, if you didn't hear it wrong. Is my mother-in-law's best friend dancing? I feel like both of you are not good people. They're both digging flowers, not to mention the birds grazing in the house. The smell of the 2 continued. My eyelids curled up. This time it didn't mess up their house. I'm not the one. That night is Saddle really out. When I was about to go to bed, the next room was noisy. She said she had a stomachache and wanted to go to the hospital. It is not convenient for men and women to stay in Chung at midnight. They forced me to go with them. My husband can't go with me. I know what these guys are up to. So close your eyes. Then he came closer to open my eyes. I tried to give her a slap, a crunch. If anything, tell me not to pretend. You're going to have an abortion now. Don't dream of seeing the sun tomorrow. Sleeping in bed with you. Do you know how miserable I am? She snored, grinding her teeth. Fat as a mountain of meat. I'm disgusted to death by this baby. You thought I was interested. It's my shame. 6. I am not forcing you to marry me. You're on your knees begging me to marry you. It's all lies. It's never been real. You still don't understand. You're just my maid. If it wasn't for my mother, how can I pursue you? 6. Loud roar, hidden words without remorse. He hates me, I don't hate him. Reborn with me. There's a mother-in-law lying in bed. Previous life 16 years. Make us closer than your mother. Her death was also an accident. She was under my care. I didn't say I could stand up. I can live at least 15 more. Was the adulterous husband who gagged her. 6. I also participated. To kick me out. He's indifferent to this plot. Watching her breathe out again. We work together. I want to give my 2 parents a free ride. Quickly die. I don't hesitate to hold the stick. Straighten like a saddle and 6. 6. Hold up and grab the stick. During the struggle, 6 carelessly hit the willow head with a stick like a saddle. Both were taken to the hospital. Like a paralyzed saddle. 6 arrested. Dream, tell me what's going on. SAO 6 back to the saddle. Talk quickly. If you don't make it clear, I'll make you die. That's right, sister-in-law. You are cruel. I pretend I can't hear the screams of the 2 of you. Softcore wipe sky for mom-in-law. She's been out for a year, and she suddenly stands up. You're both surprised. Father-in-law is most afraid to talk, stuttering. I looked at her anxiously and turned my eyes around. I started talking badly and told me to get out of the house. She and I looked at him. I know what he's afraid of. He wanted to marry the woman outside, so she didn't say anything. Get your husband on his knees in front of her. Even though she loves her daughter. I forced my husband to leave the house. On the 3rd day of Tet. Tell them not to come back later. I thought she was going to do something big. Then I know. Even she herself was counted on. She and I went to the hospital. Père is Yen. I saw her eyes red and started questioning me. Why did you hit me? I didn't hit you. You 2 are crazy. You want me to go crazy with you? Or in other words, you and 6 are done. I just want to have a miscarriage. Why wasn't you beaten? It's not you who's greedy, it's me. I didn't answer and I laughed. She whispered in her ear, let me know. I arrived last month. When she heard this, she went completely crazy. I curled my lips and watched her go crazy. Without pity. Just happy on the way home. She pulled me to tell the lies of the 6 liars. She's locked up in bed. How can we know the plot of 6 how? And others. To death she's still worried about my future. Mom, let's go home. In front of my house. You have another battle waiting for us. These 3 cunning families. No wonder she's so young. At this age, I still make money. Before the kids were so expensive, they're still passionate. But I don't think it's bad. Stick to this job forever, so go to the door. A middle-aged woman, bullet makeup, suddenly appeared. I saw my mother in a wheelchair. Enthusiasm to visit health. Thanks to your old dance moves. And the long legs. I didn't know how many men I was enchanted with. That's right. Do you have to go to the bathroom now? You are not a clean person. The woman who stabbed Tim said she cared. But every sentence can drive a disabled person crazy. But maybe she underestimated her mother-in-law. She's not angry. He even greeted her enthusiastically. Tell her to stay home for dinner. The rice was on the table. The woman introduced her. You can call me Aunt Rose, and your rice is delicious. You can take good care of your mother later. The woman laughed for an hour. Then he came over and sat next to his father-in-law. Under the watchful eyes of her mother-in-law, put your father's hand on your stomach. And then to the main problem. I'm pregnant. Your father-in-law is almost 60 years old. 6, I don't know when I'll get out. Your father-in-law always needs a stick to fight. Talk about excitement. The woman revealed a big secret. It almost made me fall over. 6, she is not the mother-in-law's biological child. The father-in-law found another woman who was born and brought back. Mother in a very generous adoption as biological child, not blaming the previous 6 being life, indifferent to seeing her dead. Turns out it's not that I don't care. I didn't care. I was surprised to see her. She nods her head slowly. You have to do that. There's no other way. It's impossible for a baby to be born as a bastard. You can make a request and we can agree. Even if you are 6, you still have money. Pink says it carelessly. The father-in-law didn't say anything. The eating behavior was somewhat different. I really want to curse. This property, it's mostly because she's hard at work. Why do I end up leaving a woman related to division? She pulled my hand. She laughed and said yes. There's only one condition: to catch the dream and 6 divorce. You have to compensate for the dream. She's good. Please. My husband wants a divorce. Hurry up and pay for the procedure. I finished everything in 6 and quickly divorced. My mother-in-law asked for money to come into the house as compensation. I started dreaming about my future and her. I was packing that night. Suddenly, I fainted. When I opened my eyes, the room smelled of gasoline. Outside were her father-in-law and Aunt Hong tied to a chair. Can't move. They're awake now too. I saw the scene in the room and started screaming. Constantly cursing. Did you do something? I'm confused. My mother-in-law is pushing her wheelchair out. Stop yelling. I'm doing this. I'll give you 2 something to eat. Kim Hoa, what do you want to do? Are you crazy? What are you going to do? Let us go. Or wait for me to get out and I'll help you. She laughed coldly and asked Aunt Hong. Why do you keep fighting with me? God gave her birth in the family, more conditional than me. It's beautiful. My child has to work hard to get it. Your child is as easy as a hand. That's why I have to blame myself. If you do not have to win, you are not the right person. Listen to those disgusting words. I don't blame old age. You have to rely on men to live. When kids don't, try not to fight. Just look at what others have. It is right to suffer when you are old. When she finished, she wanted to kill someone. Sorry to be tied up. Extremely angry. Pick up with me. My mother realized the answer. He calmly walked over to his father-in-law, not waiting for her to ask. My father said the words in his heart. To be honest, when I was young, I liked her. But you see yourself getting older and older. What do I love when I get older? Kim Hoa is too strong. You don't know how to be a woman. Women must be soft and weak. I can't feel like a man in front of my grandmother. When I got home, I was so poor that I didn't have a blanket. You have no power, not to mention I'm still messing around. But if I'm not on business? Are you and your bastard son still alive? Father-in-law's words completely ignited the anger of her mother-in-law. I can guess what she wants to do. Worried, advise her not to. She came over to me and took the lighter out of Ra's pocket. My husband also smells gasoline. Her face full of horror, screaming for her to stop. D. Pink was so scared that she peed out her pants. While incoherent speech, she revealed another secret, the queen. My son is not your husband's son, it's really not that I think he has money. I just wanted to annoy my sister. She acted like she couldn't hear me. Next to my angry father, yelling at Aunt Hong for cheating on his feelings. Aunt Hong knows she said Sai will really die. I don't pretend anymore and scold my father-in-law. They even talk in bed. When I talk about drugs, my mother-in-law is angry. And even the dream words about her mother-in-law are curses. Indecent actions of two people. It almost made my mother-in-law laugh. Lord, please let me go. I have nothing to do with this house anymore. I want to live. Bother. She raised her stick and hit Aunt Hong hard. Beat her. Let my husband faint. Suddenly calmed down. Her eyes did not leave her mother. He said she wouldn't dare. I will not do such evil. She didn't notice coming straight at me. I begged her not to come out with me. We can start over. Her husband is also waiting for her. Don't be for these cowards. That ended my life. I saw her frown. I keep telling you about the beautiful life that I've painted. We'll be in another city. There will be a small shop and a home. Later, I was your real mother. BA sounds great. What a good kid. My daughter doesn't understand. If you live well, visit him later. Or not. Even if it doesn't starve. Mom, don't we start over? My mother has a future. No, I can't bother you. After saying that, she let me sit in my chair. Give the wheelchair a sound. I was pushed out of the house. Watch the house burn down. In the fire there were women's screams. The man's angry roar only. My mother-in-law's lack of voice. I try to stand up. But instead can't move. Tears blur the whole face. Once again I became an orphan.